So hello everyone and welcome in. My name is Gibson. I am joined by the one and only Chris Swords from Viperio. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Gibson. How are you today? A pleasure to be on your video.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. And for those of you watching, me and Chris have been speaking for about 7 months now about getting something put together, and we're only now doing it. But Chris, to be fair, it's probably for the best we waited 7 months, because Viperio 86's run over the last calendar year has been so impressive.
No, it has indeed. I mean, with it being the inaugural MPL season, I mean, it's been great to see us not only just taking on our fellow UK teams, but also teams from across the Nordic region as well. So it's been great. We've had sort of ups and downs throughout the first half and the second half, but definitely a strong start to the year for the Viperio 86 squad.
It really has been, and CL qualifications pretty much in the bag, meaning you get some bragging rights games coming up this weekend. So MPL Finals round the corner. You guys, Victus, 10-Star and Heroic. Is it the 4 teams that you saw as an owner making the finals based on what you saw over the course of the season?
I'd say definitely, yeah. I think from the start of the season, especially with our performance last year, there was an expectation that we'd not only make sort of MPL finals, but again, be a team that would be pushing for that CL qualification. In 10-Star as well, they've had a very strong roster for the past year now, so I think that's no surprise there. Victus as well, coming up from that UKIN, what it is now, or UKIN 2, they definitely did look like the strongest roster to do that push up, kind of like what the original Team 86 squad did when they came up from that division. So no surprises to me. I know that likes of Coalesce, when they had their roster changes, and also M&M Academy, and even Ambush, they all had sort of glimpses of potential in that second half of the split, and it was very close. But I think the 4 teams that I would have expected to make finals are the ones that made it in the end.
I think it's no surprise that Heroic, coming in from EUL, do end up making those finals, but credit to 10-Star. They actually were the ones that topped the MPL tables and clutched that kind of #1 seed going in. And I kind of want to talk about that relationship just a little bit. You know, you guys, 10-Star and Victus, all the players have pretty much come up together, you know, over the course of the last 12 months, even longer in some players' cases. Is it a rivalry, or is it more of like a little bit of a friendship? Like, do you feel good when they do well, or is it like, oh, you know, we should be kind of top of that little list?
I think it's I don't want to call it a love-hate relationship, yeah. But with any sort of competitive activity, you always want to be the best. So I mean, I would always love it if we're finishing above 10-Star. It gives us a bit of bragging rights. But equally, like, I mean, the MPL is like our region. We want the UKI and Nordics to be sort of that best national league and do well on the international stage. The fact that we could have sort of 5 MPL teams in CL is quite insane to think about. So while I'd love to be the best team in the MPL, it's great to see our fellow competition also doing well on that international stage.
Yeah, I think when you talk about the level of talent in MPL, it probably is the best league in Europe now, just based on CL quals alone, when you look at how all the teams are doing. And that leads to, you know, all those teams that were kind of victims of their own success. You guys have obviously lost 2 players, 10-Star have lost players, you know, Victus, everybody seems to have been suffering a little bit with EUL coming in and taking all these players. What is it about Viperio that you think gives these players the grounding and education they need to make that jump into the highest level?
I think we're very well aware as a team and organization of our position. Like, we are within that sort of tier 2, tier 3 sort of level within Rainbow Six esports. So I like to think this is a great platform for rookie talent to come in, get that national league experience, really showcase their skills, and then once they hit a ceiling here, move on to those EUL teams. I think a great example is Grubby. This being his very first National League season in the MPL, and he's already now with Secret in the EUL. So it gives rookie talent that turn 18 that great opportunity. We've also seen Nuddle move into Mexico. That was his first National League split with us earlier in the season. So that's great to see. And then equally for players that have always been sort of pushing a good chance, like Astro, him getting the shot to come up, and even Hungry coming down. I expect to see him back in EUL in the near future as well. So we're very much a platform for teams to showcase their skills and move on to that tier 1 level when they're ready. And that's something that it feels I take great pride in, being a part of that player's journey as a team within the national leagues.
Yeah, one of the players that I think's been key to the team's success is probably Curly. And, you know, he's been around the team for a long time now. What do you think it is about Curly that just makes him stand out and be so calm in those late game scenarios? Because the amount of times he's the player who gets that 1v1 kill at the very end of a game, particularly on defense, it's something that he does do time and time again.
One thing that really stands out to me about Curly in particular is, despite being a very young individual, he's very mature. So you could be down in overtime, the other team needs one round to completely take a series or a qualification away, and he's treating it as if it's the first round of the game, very calm. He's making sure that the rest of the team are making sure that they're following the basic steps. He's a very good leader within the team, and Curly's been pivotal to our success today, whether that be in UK, NPL, or Challenger League. He's definitely one of the most valuable assets that we've had to the Viperio 86 project over the past 2 years.
Yeah, and looking forward to the MPL Finals. I think he'll have a big thing to do with that. And, you know, MPL Finals as well, we could have a bit of a grudge game as well. Yonka and Hungry, teammates at one stage at the very highest level. They're going to potentially come together now too in MPL Finals. So that's something that could drive Hungry on a little bit too.
No, indeed. I think those sort of storylines, it makes the league a little bit more interesting, a little bit more spicy. So I definitely think that's going to be entertaining for viewers. Hopefully some G2 fans will tune into the stream just to see how that goes down. But yeah, that's definitely a storyline that really gives a bit more invested interest for people that might not watch MPL on the regular, just to see how things go down in that final stage.
Well, Chris, obviously you're going to be biased, but I'm going to ask you the same question I'm going to ask the other guys. MPL Finals coming up this weekend. Who comes out on top? Who comes second? And then who's playing for that third place game? I want your predictions.
I mean, I'd be a terrible team owner if I wasn't going to back my own team to the very end. I think we're in a very interesting situation, and I know that we discussed off video sort of. There's been so many changes across all these rosters that this is the first chance we're going to see a lot of them take each other on in that competitive environment. So it's all to play for every team, but I definitely see us going the whole way, making the final. Heroic or 10 star, I think they'll come in that second or third, and Victus, hopefully we can gatekeep potentially. That's one storyline that a lot of people are going on about. Can 10 star and Viperio 86 keep them out of CL? So I guess that's a challenge for us going into that tournament as well.
Yeah, it's something people keep saying, you know, gatekeep Invictus, gatekeep Invictus. I think saying the word gatekeeping's the wrong way to put it, because that means like, oh, you're intentionally going out. It's not. It's two teams playing their best, trying to win a game. If you try to win a game and the other team doesn't, you haven't gatekept them. You've just won a game that you've earned the winning. So I think maybe we could change that narrative over the course of the next few weeks, because let's be real, you guys are in CL, 10 star are in CL, M&M Academy coming out of nowhere after the changes they made, they're pretty much in CL too. Everybody wants Victus to be that next team up, because the more MPL the better.
No, as I said earlier, like I would love it if we could see the likes of 5 MPL teams in CL. I think it really showcases our region as a strong league, and it really backs, I guess, Ubisoft's investment in the whole system and why they've set up the MPL in the first place. So I think you're right. Maybe gatekeep's not the best word, but I guess it means there's real high stakes for Victus here. Like they're one of the teams that really have to show off and really pull through if they want to prove that they deserve a spot in that CL league.
Yeah, we cannot wait to see. We'll know within the next couple of weeks who every single CL team will be, so cannot wait to find out how many MPL teams we do get. But Chris, we've spoken enough about the team, and I know that you're like, right, phew, we're done talking about the team itself. Let's talk a little bit about you. So you're one of the youngest org owners that I know of. You've brought the org so far over the course of the last 12, 24 months, and you picked up Team 86 as you spoke about. That's why the team kind of goes by the Viperio 86 name.
Yeah.
Tell me about your story and how you actually got into owning an esports org.
Yeah, so I mean, I started Viperio back in 2013 when I was a 13-year-old playing Black Ops 2 on Xbox. Maybe I shouldn't be plugging games and we're talking about Rainbow Six. But that's very much where I started. And I think from a young age, I thought I'm never going to be a competitive player. It's not where my interests or passion lies. So the next best way to get involved was, why don't I have a team play for me? So we then enter Fun Cups. And we basically progressed from there, moved into other titles, Counter-Strike, Halo, League of Legends. And then sort of as the new decades come in, Rainbow Six has been an opportunity that I've seen that has a lot of potential for us to grow as an org. And as you've said, picking up the Team 86 team when they qualified for the original UKIN and working with them from sort of over the last 2 years now, it's definitely been a very interesting and enjoying journey for me as a team owner. And that's brought us to where we are today. And I definitely see long-term potential in Rainbow Six. Whether or not how that looks sort of from next year onwards, we'll have to see. But I'm very much committed to Rainbow Six and want to stay involved for as long as possible.
Man, I love it. Like the fact that you started a team at 13 and here you are now running a really successful team inside of Siege and, you know, doing pretty decent in all the other titles as well. So kind of saying that, what next for Viperio 86 or Viperio as a whole? Because we spoke about Siege, you spoke about the other games that you're involved in and the fact that you started the team so young. What is the next jump for Viperio?
I think, as a lot of people would expect, obviously once you reach successes, you want to be able to maintain that. So I think that's the one of our key objectives going into next year. We want to be that team that's always pushing for CL out of the UK and Nordics. So maintaining that and continuing to push on from that is, I guess, the step forward. I mean, the challenge I've always had in my younger years is, as a team owner at the age of 16, 18, you're still very young and there's a lot to learn. Now that I'm 23, I guess I have a more credible personal CV. Now's my time to really try and take the organization further so that we can offer our players, our creators, those that are investing their time, their passion into this project. They can really sort of see the rewards and get the most out of that time. That's where my time is focused on as a team owner.
Yeah, I love your whole attitude to it. So for a new potential fan or investor or sponsor looking at Viperio, what is Viperio about? To you, if you were to give the short synopsis of what you are, what would you say?
It's a good one. So I mean, we position ourselves, me being from Newcastle, as the northeast of England's leading esports clubs. So I mean, the fact we compete in those UK leagues, I see real opportunity on trying to capitalize on sort of a local level. So I'd love to set up Newcastle as sort of our regional hub, have things like boot camps, teams on site in the city, playing in potential scenarios where possible, and really position ourselves as one of those national league teams out of the UK. That are a great opportunity for players to come in, use our time to compete, get achievements, earn some money on the side, then push for those tier 1 spots. And if we can get past that and sort of push onto that tier 1 stage, that's something I'd love to do as well. But for now, we want to take it step by step, progress it in a sustainable way that will allow us to survive and keep on that story that we've had for pushing 10 years now, maintaining that storyline as one of those teams within the UK.
Yeah, and hopefully that storyline is still in its early stages, because hopefully we see long-time success for the org. And let's be real, the Northeast has seen some pretty big investments from other areas. We'll not go into it too much, but it's pretty good for the area, I think, as a whole. So we do hope to see more continued success for the org. But Chris, one last thing before we finish and wrap up. I want to talk a little bit about you. You know, you are still really young. You've had massive success in your short life already. When you look at what you've achieved in college, you did that obvious achievement with Intel as well. So what is it about you that you think has allowed you to have all of these successes, both in esports and outside of esports?
No, thanks, Gibson. Very kind words. I think one of the key things is that as much as I'm not a player on the server, I'm very much a competitive individual. I don't think I want to get involved in stuff if I'm not going to give it my all and really try my best. So while I might not be on the server competing against the other teams, trying to win rounds, get kills, outside of the game, I'm competing against all other team owners to try and get the biggest sponsorships, trying to get the best players, trying to grow the team on social media. That's my competitive area, and that's where I really get enjoyment out of running a team. And also, I'm probably the team's biggest fan. I mean, I have an invested interest in the team, so I want to see them do well, and anything I can do outside to help them do that, I guess that's helpful for the team, the organization, and everyone involved.
Yeah, well, look, I can definitely attest to that, because you're one of the owners out there that I see actively getting your team's games on TVs and bars, which to me it's the next big step. You know, there's a massive following for esports, so why not get your mates out, have a couple of drinks, watch some of the best teams in the world go at it. So best of luck to you and continued success to everything you do, both personally and with Viperio. But Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, and I really look forward to the next time.
No worries. Pleasure speaking, Gibson. Thanks.